Hey everyone, so let's talk about the rapture and the primary verses surrounding the rapture in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. Namely, verses 15, 16, and 17, where notice I've highlighted we the living first. Okay, so let's talk about we the living because this is actually the subject that carries from here to here. Okay, and what we have to understand in order to interpret this correctly is that we the living in the Greek case is nominative. So it's the subject. And this is where a concordant lexicon, such as here at Bible Hub, comes in handy because we can pick a verse, select interlinear view, and they give you the parsing key of each word. So here, we the living in verse 17, well, let's go back to verse 15. We the living is nominative. This is the end. So it's nominative, masculine, plural. And the word living is a verb, by the way, a word of action. Where we is a personal pronoun, note it's in the first person. This is also important. Nominative, first person, we the living. Where if we go to verse 17, same thing. We, nominative, first person, the living, verb, nominative. Where then note, them here, who rise first, verse 16, is dative, third person. Okay? This is important because the so-called rapture word, harpazo, caught up, robbed, it's in the word family of being robbed, is first person verb. So those who are being robbed or harpazo, raptured, are only referring to we the living. Verb, remaining, verb, together, adverb. So all of these, the verbs and adverbs are modifying we the living here, not them. Okay? This is important because most people interpret that we together with them are all being robbed, and this is not what the verse is expressing. If you search the dative case on Google here, it says in biblical Greek, the dative case is frequently used to indicate the recipient of an action. So it's the case of reception. So also you see at the conclusion here, the dative case can also convey other meanings such as possession, possessing something, an advantage or disadvantage, where here in our case it's the advantage because they come prior to the we the living. All right? And regarding the reception, the dative case of reception, this is all in connection with the coming into the wedding feasts here in Luke chapter 12, where notice in verse 36, you be like human being readily receptive, meaning be ready to be received into the wedding feasts, where the uploosening here is the first watch time, where the second watch time and third watch time are seen here, where the first has disappeared. Okay? So the context of 1 Thessalonians, we the living remaining, come in here. Second watch time, which is midnight. Okay? This is the second order. So we have rise first, and then we have we the living who do not come prior to them. This is what Paul is explaining in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. And although I've talked about this in my pinned videos, the parable of the 10 virgins concerning the middle of the night, midnight, also has a direct relationship to the wedding feasts down here, where those prepare come in at midnight. Right here, wedding feast, door. So, the profound connection that we can make to thereupon we the living in the so-called rapture is the word apanthesis here. Okay, so this is the same as this. So the timeline of midnight, second watch time, conclusion is this, where rise first is eventide. First watch time of Luke 12:38 disappeared. So the come prior, those who do not come prior do not come into the wedding at eventide. They'll come in here at the so-called rapture.